Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. A whopping 92 opposition MPs have been suspended in this session of Parliament. Mind you, the first session in the new Parliament building. 14 MPs were suspended last week, and today 78 more members across both houses were suspended for unruly behavior and for specially disrupting House proceedings with placards and more. The opposition has been trying to pressurize the government for a statement from none other than Home Minister Shah or Prime Minister Modi on the Parliament security breach. Earlier, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla did address the issue, but that didn't suffice for the opposition. So the eyeball-to-eyeball confrontation between the two sides has led to one of the highest number of suspensions taking place in one go in Indian parliamentary history. This, of course, gives the opposition the handle to say that government would rather suspend and, quote, kill the voice of democracy and opposition than make a statement, while the treasury benches have been pointing to the my way or the highway tactics of the opposition with the aim of derailing proceedings. One thing is clear, there is a complete breakdown of any relationship between the opposition and the government, and possibly this will only get worse as we near 2024 elections. With that, there is also seemingly a complete breakdown of parliament proceedings. So is this by design, or is this because of, quote, throttling of democracy? I'll take that question to our guests in just a bit. But first, a confirmation of what we have seen earlier today. A total of 92 MPs being suspended over the last few days. So 13 MPs had already been suspended as far as Parliament is concerned last week. So there's been more suspensions that have come in from there. But actually, if you look at the number, only one Rajya Sabha MP had been suspended, Derek O'Brien. While his suspension has been asked to be reversed, that hasn't happened. A total of 45 Rajya Sabha MPs have been suspended today. This is a breakdown of the Lok Sabha MPs, 46 of them that have been suspended from Parliament, Congress bearing the brunt of about 20, DMK 10 MPs, TMC 9, and there's of course other parties that have also suffered more expulsions. Let's take a look at what both sides are saying, what the opposition says versus what the government is saying. So opposition, of course, is saying that this is the Modi government attacking Parliament and democracy itself. Government say that the MPs have utterly disregarded the House and Lok Sabha Speaker. Opposition says the MPs have been suspended to suppress the voice of the opposition itself, while the treasury benches say that suspended MPs were displaying placards in the House, which naturally is not allowed. Opposition says that they just want to know what steps are being taken to secure Parliament. Is their demand as innocuous and innocent as they make it sound? The government says that the opposition MPs were not letting the House function, and of course they allege that this is a tactic of the opposition to bring it to this kind of brinkmanship. The opposition has also gone on to say that the government is displaying an attitude of zero accountability that is left to the Parliament from them. Government says that the opposition is insecure as they do not have any other agenda against this government, especially ahead of next elections. Now, mass suspensions are not new, but as I said, this high number of people being suspended in one go or in a couple of days because of one continuous issue in one session is possibly unprecedented. So in the past, in 1989, 63 MPs were suspended from the Lok Sabha. This, of course, was under the Rajiv Gandhi government when the Thakur report on Indira's assassination was being tabled. In 2019, under this government, 45 members were suspended for unruly behavior. In 2014, before this government, before the Modi government came to power, under the then UPA government, 16 members were suspended in one go. In 2013 too, under former UPA government, there is an incidence of 12 members being suspended for 5 days. In 2021 though, one of the more latest examples is when 12 members from across opposition ranks were suspended for quote violent behavior. Many of our viewers would remember this is when MPs were caught on camera assaulting a marshal inside the house, and it had become a very ugly episode. Now, these kind of instances can be seen as a marker of a more polarized polity or a sign that parliamentarians' behavior has gone down over the years, because the kind of disruptions that we are witnessing is unlike a thing of the past. Now, rules for parliamentarians are also very, very clear. They have to follow certain protocols. They have to adhere to certain rules. What are those rules? First of all, they cannot be interrupting others when they are talking. They also have to maintain silence or some sense of decorum inside the house. Importantly, and this is where today's disruption becomes important, they cannot be displaying any placards or be tearing up documents. So today the major cause has been the fact that they've been using placards which is not allowed, and they had come prepared to do so. They did not listen to the speakers when they said let's not do this and move on. Now the chair can direct a member to leave the house. They can also name an MP for willful obstruction, continuous disruption, and a motion can be moved to suspend that said member. And under Rule 374A, a speaker can automatically suspend an MP for 5 days. And of course, both in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the chair has been using that rule to suspend MPs. When we talk about this Parliament showdown, is it not a sign that there's been a complete breakdown of Parliament functioning, and exactly who should be held responsible for that? We take that forward with our guests in just a bit.
सारे नेता सस्पेंड, हाँ मैं भी सस्पेंड हो चुके हैं सुबह से, और कई दिनों से हमारा मांग बना, सीधे मांग कि एक तो ये कि हमारे जितने एमपीस को निलंबित किए गए हैं उनको बहाली हो, और सदन में आकर हमारे गृह मंत्री एक बयान दें.
We were all protesting, and that's how we ended getting a suspension again. No voices heard, no discussion, and no action taken against them who are actually against the BJP MP, but who were protesting, we were all thrown out of the house.
इंडिसिप्लिन नहीं करेंगे, वेल के अंदर नहीं जाएंगे. अगर प्रोटेस्ट करना है तो अपना अपना स्थानों में खड़ा होकर प्रोटेस्ट करेंगे. ऐसा सभी लोग सहमति हुआ है, सभी लोगों का निर्णय है.
Hello, Moto.
Let's go across to our guest joining us. Shazia Ilmi, this is the national spokesperson of the BJP. Sujata Paul is joining us from the Congress party. Riju Datta, spokesperson of the TMC, and also Professor Sangeet Ragi is a political analyst, leans towards the BJP, joining us on the show. I'll give the opportunity to our opposition members first to make their points on what we have witnessed today. Almost unprecedented. Sujata Paul, I'm coming to you first. How do you look at the suspensions today, and particularly the charge from the Treasury benches that this is something by design? The Congress and the opposition came prepared to create disruptions. You had planned a placard protest when you know that it is not allowed on the floor of the House, and yet you went further with it.
This is certainly done by design, and by design of the BJP. The BJP does not want any voice to be raised against Mr. Modi, against a security breach, against any issue. What is the parliament meant for? The parliament, as Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar had said, was meant for the opposition, because the party in power is running the government, and questions that need to be asked have to be done in parliament. However, the government does not want anybody to raise questions. They don't want to show any kind of accountability or responsibility. And this is not only showing a trust deficit, but I think this is a deliberate attempt to polarize and show that we are on opposite sides, because never in the history of this country has this kind of suspension happened. In this particular session itself, if the number is reaching 90, what is it showing? That the government is incapable of running the house.
Okay, I'll take that point forward with Shazia Ilmi. The government's responsibility is to run the House, bring on board the opposition members. Are they failing to do so? But before I do that, I want to quickly go across to Riju Datta as well. Riju Datta, we discussed this earlier as well. The problem is not the asking of the questions or the noting of the dissent. The chair itself are saying, the speakers of both House itself are saying that this is not the way to do so. We've seen the pictures from earlier today as well. When you keep pushing the chair or the Treasury benches, what else is the chair supposed to do if you disrupt and not just ask questions?
Well, Shivani, it's a matter of life and death. The custodian of Lok Sabha security is the Speaker of Lok Sabha, and he has failed in his work to keep the parliament secure. Let's keep the politics aside. What is the opposition collectively asking for? Two things. Point number one, the Pradhan Mantri has spoken about this in an event program. The Home Minister has spoken about this terrorist attack on the parliament on another conclave of a national channel. So what is stopping the Pradhan Mantri and the Home Minister from coming and talking about it inside the Parliament? Why are they absconding from the Parliament? God knows. The second question, the BJP MP who gave the pass to these terrorists to infiltrate the Parliament should be expelled. These are the two things that the opposition is asking, and I leave it to your viewers to their wisdom that are these questions unjustified?
No,
And
no, but
if
that's
that
exactly
day-
the question I asked you, Riju. The questions are not unjustified. You said the chair has failed in its duty to keep the Parliament House secure. But the chair has responded. Om Birla, Lok Sabha Speaker, addressed this issue twice, including today. Now, my point is, you may disagree with what has happened or should happen, but what is the way forward if you're not going to listen to what the Speaker has to say?
Is it very difficult or is it very unjust for demanding the Home Minister to come and speak?
No, it isn't. It's not about the quality of that demand. Riju, you're not getting my question. It's not about the qualitative aspects of that demand. It's the manner in which that demand is being posed.
Now, okay, then if the opposition cannot ask questions and apparently the conduct and the manner is wrong and you suspend 92 MPs, then might as well let go of this new five-star parliament. Make street corner meetings and
But doesn't that condone the behavior even if it's against the rules of the House or by parliamentarians?
I do not understand. Shivani, please, I don't want to get into politics. Keeping the politics aside.
This is
the Home
politics. What
Minister-
else is there?
Once again.
How will you
Shivani,
keep the politics aside in this?
The Home Minister and the Prime Minister, if you cannot keep 543 MPs that are responsible for 150 crore Indians safe, then how do you, as the ruling government, the Prime Minister or the Home Minister, have the moral right to say that the country is secure?
No, Riju,
So
that's a
there should be
political
an
argument that
accountability.
you're making. You're well within your right to make. You're not answering the question I'm asking you, and people will ask, why take it up in the manner when the chair addressed this issue? The chair says in the past, we've had these instances, the Lok Sabha Secretariat takes it forward. You can still say this is not sufficient. But is it okay to disrupt proceedings? Before I bring in Shazia Ilmi to take on both the Congress and the BJP. Yes, Sujata Paul, you wanted to say something? 30 seconds.
Yes. Are you trying to say that the government is going to decide how the protest is going to happen? Now, there are rules that we have been following. If we are asking questions, are those questions being answered? And when those questions are not being answered, what do you expect the parliamentarians to do? Because it is their security which was put at risk inside the parliament, and this is the new parliament building which is supposed to be really secure. On the one hand, you impose UAPA on those culprits, and here you say that no, we are not answerable. It will be an inquiry which will be done, and the Prime Minister will give an interview to a newspaper. The Home Minister will go and talk about it at a TV channel show, and he will not come to the parliament.
Okay.
What kind of parliament are we running?
Okay, you have compelled Shazia Ilmi, the opposition, to do this because for 4 days now, we haven't heard, the Home Minister, who is of course the Home Minister of the country and should by extension, even if not directly responsible for Parliament security, should at least be making a statement. Now, the opposition is saying that you're just not listening to them for 4-5 days since the breach happened. What is the big deal if the Home Minister was to make a statement?
And the Home Minister will, with appropriate action plan, with actual facts, because the investigation is still on. But I think this has been pre-planned, and they need to bash the Modi government with something or the other. So I think they should be very happy that it's just gone as per their plan. It was their idea to keep making the demands, despite the interjection and pleas by the Speaker and other speakers of both the houses. They refuse to stop their shouting. So if asking questions is part of the deal, is part of the mandate, but disrupting the house, misbehaving, jumping into the well, slogans shouting, is that part of the house rules? And you go any house where you are, we're talking about the parliament, everybody knows what the rules are. So you constantly ask for it. You make sure you make the situation so bad so that the Speaker has no choice but to ask you to go because you behave in an unruly manner. And as part of a preordained, pre-scripted, pre-rehearsed speech, you say, see, they're not letting us speak.
Okay.
How convenient is that?
Okay, but Shazia, can I just
how
ask?
Clever this.
Can I just ask,
Yes.
last week we
And
were being
Amit Shah
told, we were
Amit Shah-
expecting...
No, I have not finished. You
Yeah,
allowed-
very quickly.
No, I'll finish. First, I'll finish. Okay, I'll just finish because I heard for a long time, right? There were two speakers who were, up in arms, baying for the blood of my government and my people, my party. So I want to ask them that, if you go to the house as parliamentarian, there are rules there that are spelt out. And the second point is, on the one hand, Ms. Sujata Paul says that imagine something so terrible has happened, and I agree, a major security lapse has elapsed. It's a major security lapse and nobody can run away. And then she's saying, imagine this government is charging them with UAPA. So on the one hand, you say how serious it is. On the other hand, you're angry with the government for having such serious
I don't think that's what she meant. But I want to come in now. Shazia Ilmi, very quickly, before I let them respond. One second, Sujata Paul, one second. Shazia Ilmi, you said the Home Minister will speak and there will be a right time for it. Last week, when this intrusion took place, we expected that maybe if not on that day, the next day the Home Minister will speak. That's what we were hearing. Then we heard that maybe Monday the Home Minister will speak. Monday has come and gone in the House. He hasn't. Why not bring the opposition on board and tell them, okay, this is the day the Home Minister will be speaking? Does the opposition know when he's going to speak?
So that would be, it would be very naive to think that, opposition will come on board when the plan of the opposition is, and this is part of the script, how they will, play it out in the parliament to make Modi government look bad, then it's happening as per plan. And Amit Shah ji has said, let me come up with something to say, something concrete, with facts, with all the elements of the plot in place.
That's not
with
what he said.
Research about
I don't know where you're quoting him from.
So that's what he said earlier. That is what the Prime Minister has said. But you keep demanding it, knowing very well that he will only speak when he has something to say concrete about the matter, and you make a little story and a song and dance,
okay,
and you play that script out, and then you say, see, and all preordained, pre-rehearsed, pre-practiced speeches being given by all of them.
Sangit Ragi,
चल गया, खुश हो जाइए, तालियां बजाइए.
I want to go across to Sangit Ragi. Over the weekend, the Speaker of Lok Sabha wrote to the opposition members. He said that at the time of the inauguration of the new building, we had resolved that we will refrain from bringing placards inside the house. We will not create ruckus in the well of the house. So do you believe that the opposition is guilty here of using this parliament intrusion to kind of breach that trust and understanding that the Speaker had indeed initiated, especially when it comes to the first session in the new parliament building? Or do you not agree that the opposition is also fundamentally right that when for days their demands go unnoticed, unresponded, they have to resort to this?
No, it would be wrong to conclude that the opposition demands haven't been acceded by the Treasury benches. Democracy is all about having a fruitful discussion within the parliament by the members who are accountable to the people, and they are there to make the government accountable to and responsible for anything that is happening in this country. But at the same time, democracy is not about lumpenization. The parliament cannot be allowed to be lumpenized by few people having the placards and going beyond the rules. Second point, therefore, if you are not allowing the chair, whether it was in Rajya Sabha or in the Lok Sabha, to conduct the house properly, you look at the business of the houses in the last few sessions, you will be finding that most of the time the opposition has come out not to debate but to disrupt the parliament. That cannot be allowed to operate every time. This time also there was a very serious issue. The government was very ready to discuss it, but discussion on what? Only after the investigation is completed. Remember, Mohuya Maitra was suspended only after the investigation got concluded. Now you are saying the moment the news has come, you suspend the BJP member. Why he should be suspended? Number two, the point is that the government is not denying. In fact, the opposition is not wanting discussion to happen at all in the parliament. There is limits to everything. I think that the opposition has made it part of its political culture to disrupt the parliament or not allow the parliament to function at all. And this cannot be. You cannot. They have demeaned this temple of democracy. They have lowered the the quality of discussion in the parliament. They are not well prepared at all.
I take your point. I want to take that to Sujata Paul. In the past also, this is not happening as a one-off event. You look at the past 1 year or 2 years, Sujata Paul, the charge on the opposition that they face is that you come pre-prepared to not allow any business. When one minister speaks, you insist, no, we want a statement from somebody else. When the requisite minister speaks, you say, no, we will not listen, we want it only from the Prime Minister. So you have this my way or the highway attitude that we will ask for a statement from a designated person and only that person will respond. We will not listen to anybody else from the government. Because there is a parliamentary affairs minister who has also addressed this issue.
You seem to be talking about Mr. Modi. My way or the highway. My members are going to ask questions and my ministers are going to answer. If your opposition members are going to ask questions, we will not answer. And we will take on priority what we think is right. When you can suspend so many MPs, why can't you at least answer in terms of what has happened in case of Mr. Pratap Simha? But no, there will be no answers to that, no accountability. It was the Prime Minister who said that this parliament is secure and it is really better than the previous one. You remember Arun Jaitley ji? He said that running of the house is the responsibility of the government and the government is failing. This was in the time of the UPA. Now what is happening? Never ever, in the history of independent India, have so many members been suspended in one session and one go. And if you look at the entire number throughout this session and in the previous session, the number just goes on increasing.
Okay.
But when Shazia Ilmi...
Exactly my point. Exactly. When all the numbers, all the parliamentarians have decided to do this only because they can't fight the BJP politically, and you make a plan altogether and orchestrate this, then they will be suspended. What is so surprising about it? You should be happy. It's going as per your plan. All the opposition has planned it that we will keep insisting on an appearance of Amit Shah ji and an answer by him. And if he's saying, please wait, let me come up with a detailed answer which is pertinent and relevant to the query that is being asked, which is of a very serious nature. And when he refuses to do that, he doesn't go by your agenda. You will all misbehave and indulge in unruly conduct. When you indulge in unruly conduct, the speaker will have no choice. So much so that Mrs. Jagdish Dhankar asked Mallikarjun Kharge to meet him in the chamber, and Mallikarjun Kharge refused to meet him in the chamber. Just look at the way they're running. Look at the way they're trying to create this situation.
Okay, I get your point. Let me just come in. I want to go across to, don't speak over each other. I want to go across to Riju Datta also. Riju Datta, I'll ask you the same question. The charge on the opposition is that you are obstructionist by design. The government could answer something. You will say, we are not satisfied, we want so-and-so to answer. There has been an instance when a minister was speaking, the opposition either walked out or was flinging papers in the direction of the minister. Now, it cannot be like that. And the instance where the speaker, the vice president, Rajya Sabha chair has come out to say that, I invited people to come and meet me, and the opposition is refusing to even meet me. So then, why would you not face the charge of being obstructionist too?
If you go to a restaurant and you get bad food, will you call the chef or you will talk to the darbar?
Why is this a restaurant you're talking about? This is not a restaurant.
No, why will we? I don't understand. If you have a set narrative and you want me to answer questions to that narrative, I'm sorry, I'm not ready to do so. You have to understand, on the same day that this terrorist attack happened, in the morning, the Prime Minister and the Home Minister, I'm not talking about Modi or Amit Shah, the Prime Minister and the Home Minister of India garlanded our martyrs. There was an oath-taking ceremony. If that wouldn't have been there, the Prime Minister and the Home Minister would have been in the Lok Sabha.
Riju, you're emphasizing what transpired, and I don't think it's anybody's case to undermine what happened. But just harping about what has happened is not sufficient to explain the behavior of the MPs. I asked you a very direct question. You were saying if you go to a restaurant, you will complain to the manager and not so-and-so. But this is precisely the point. You cannot behave in parliament like you're in a restaurant.
So then the BJP also should secure the parliament, unlike giving Modi ki Jumla guarantee, like Mr. Modi said, this is the safest place on earth. And
Again,
it has been
by
breached
your
in 6
answers,
months.
may I conclude that you are more interested in playing politics and bringing Mr. Modi's, guarantee
May I also
than
conclude that
actually
CNN News 18
ensuring that the
will-
House can
no,
function.
I
But
can also-
it is,
I
I
can
thought,
also
the
conclude
opposition's
that CNN
contention
News
that we
18
will not play
only
politics
hold
on
a
this.
proper debate if people would have died inside the parliament. Otherwise, CNN will not ask the hard questions.
No,
You have to
again
ask the
and
hard
again you're
questions.
saying so and so said this is the most secure
Could
parliament.
MP merge
Again and
up
again
with
you're
Hannah
diverting from the
Gupta?
question I'm asking. Just because somebody made that statement, Sangeet Ragi, does not mean the opposition is absolved of its duty of behavior. That's the point.
Exactly, Shivani. The members of the opposition are not behaving as a member of the parliament. If you behave like
The
a member of
BJPs are not
unruly
behaving
group,
like human beings.
well,
BJP does not
please
behave like
allow me
human
to say,
beings.
allow me to speak. Allow me to speak. If the members of the opposition are, conducting themselves as the member of unruly group, then the chair has no option but to punish the way they have been punished, because ultimately the parliament has to transact its business. And
Okay.
if every day the opposition is coming with the placards
But if
and
they are
not
lying,
allowing the
One second, both of you
Physical
don't speak
conduct.
over him. He didn't speak over you. But Sangeet Ragi, here's the question about perception. Politics is also about perception. Doesn't it not send the absolutely wrong message from the treasury benches to be suspending as many as 92 MPs within a couple of days just because they were asking for a statement on a parliament breach?
No, look at the pattern. If you look at the pattern, you will find that their whole intention is not to allow the parliament to function. Now, what is the option before the headmaster? What is the option before the chair? The option before the chair is that don't allow them to disrupt.
The
can
problem
disrupt
is the headmaster
when
itself
they are
is compromised. That is the
they
problem.
they deserve to be suspended. They are not setting example for the nation. They are behaving that unruly,
Good. Correct. Shazia
uncultured,
Ilmi said MPs should die.
uncultured members of Europe.
Good.
What should be the option before
MPs
the
should die because of a bomb blast or आप मोदी करके चिल्लाएंगे.
Okay, I want to go across to Shazia Ilmi. Shazia Ilmi, there is a point where traditionally in India, the onus of being able to run the house is on the treasury benches, is on the government. Has your government not failed to bridge that divide? Because session after session, we are seeing this happening. Now to the extent that I think this is the largest ever suspension in numbers that have taken place in one session.
Yes, if a large number of MPs from the opposition benches have decided as a part of a script that they will make demands that are not immediately possible or tenable, and that they will indulge in unruly conduct, and they will make sure they ask for it, then the House rules are such that they will be suspended. It is not a surprise, and I think they know it. See, this is exactly the same thing that happened in the last time around. Let me finish. See, remember what happened the last time around, the whole question on Manipur? But let me finish saying, I'm saying something. Let me finish saying. No, don't get hysterical. I would like to ask this Paul not to get hysterical. I would like to say something. Can I address the anchor? Can I finish saying what I'm saying? Somebody is constantly shrieking in my ear.
1 second.
So I would like to say something. Can I finish saying what I'm saying? Ma'am, can I just get 20 seconds? Stop shrieking. Stop shrieking, ma'am. Stop
Okay, 1 second.
shrieking.
You were talking
Stop
about what
shrieking.
happened
I
in
want
the
to
last
finish saying
session. Can I just quickly, Shazia Ilmi, I want to listen to
talking
what you're
about
about to
20
say on the
seconds. I
issue
just
of
wanted 20
Manipur.
seconds.
Because there were questions that
I
went
want
on
to
both
say-
sides
I
on the
want
issue of
20
Manipur
seconds.
debate as well.
I wanted to finish saying something. Please, I would like to ask the anchor to conduct this in a way where people get a chance, at least not to.
I've
face
given you more
such
than enough
unruly
time,
hooligan
Shazia.
behavior.
Yeah, school
No,
everybody.
but I was talking.
Unfortunately, this is not the parliament, BJP.
One
You don't want me
second,
to
both
speak,
of
I
you,
will
can
not
you please
speak.
not speak
You want
over
me to
the
go,
other
I will
people
go.
at the same
It's okay,
time?
it's okay,
Shazia,
I will
I'll
have
give
to
you
speak.
30 seconds.
If you don't
Please
want me to
respond,
speak,
please
it's
finish.
fine. If you think it's all right when I'm speaking and somebody can shriek, it's fine. I will be quiet. I don't know why you invited me for this thing if I don't even have the right to finish saying what I want to.
Can you, Shazia Ilmi, please
fine.
speak, please finish.
Yeah, so I was making this point and somebody kept shrieking, and that's why I was saying, let me finish saying what I'm saying. The point I'm making is, when this happened the last time around, when there was a demand that the Prime Minister only must speak when Amit Shah was speaking. And because Amit Shah is in charge of Home Affairs, and that is the reason why I was speaking. Then what was the demand? PM should speak. Now Amit Shah ji is saying that I will speak, let me come back to you with all the details and let me give you an informed answer. After all, it was also the BJP MPs and the opposition MPs who were all there. There was a major security lapse, as the Prime Minister himself has said. So now, but no, now he's not coming, so now let's do a tamasha. It's for the sake of a tamasha. Tamasha is being done as part of a plan. So if 93 or 100 or how many ever the number could be, if they all decide to do it, all of them will get suspended because they're working towards suspension.
I have 30 seconds left. I'll give that to Riju Datta.
You indulge in unruly conduct, you will be suspended.
Riju Datta, I just want to ask you a simple question. For the benefit of the country, and since you believe this is such an important issue, wouldn't it also be on the opposition to meet the government halfway? At least discuss in a meeting. If the speaker is calling you, go meet with the speaker. You know, the Lok Sabha chair also mentioned that, see, whatever demands were made on the day of this parliament breach on December 13, whatever instantaneous suggestions were given from the opposition, all of those were incorporated. So it's not like you were not heard. So wouldn't also the onus also be on you to meet halfway at least, if not the whole way?
Shivani, first of all, I will congratulate you that you are conducting yourself much better than the Lok Sabha speaker or the vice president of this country. Why I say this? Because when BJP was feeling exactly how the opposition feels inside the parliament, you did not lower our fader. So you have conducted yourself better than the Lok Sabha speaker. The bottom line is, now that half the opposition is already suspended, very casually the Home Minister will come and make a speech, a covered speech. Because he understands that they have made the biggest probable folly in their government ever.
Riju, wouldn't it have been not fair? Riju, wouldn't it have been fair that you could have allowed the Home Minister 5 days, a week, whatever it took for a preliminary investigation to get over so that he can actually present something in front of you?
Shivani, I will ask you the same question and to your viewers, that if the pass would have been issued by a Congress or a TMC,
you're diverting what I'm asking.
Then what will happen?
No, that's a hypothetical question. In any case, I can't get into this. I can't predict what would have happened. I've run out of time. I do thank all of our guests.